Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere and even earn money. We like that. All in one place for totally free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your cellular telephone or your computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else, those other places that podcasts are heard.
Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free, zero catch. We've been using it ever since we started How Long Gone. And ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel like having the option of turning off the Q&As and the polls on the user dashboard has really helped boost my creativity and take it to another level. I highly recommend giving it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
Yeah, it's just me surrounded by nature, and it feels pretty good.
Feels good? I mean, you're not, we're recording this episode live from the lake house. Chris is not really a big outdoor cat. You're more of an urban sprawl minimalist guy?
I'm more of an urban sprawl minimalist guy, but, I think for a quick 36-hour jaunt, I can be a man of the woods.
Yeah, I mean, I think you finally are appreciating the nature, the clean air, and all of the things to take white guy Instagram story pictures of.
Yeah, maybe I am. I mean, it's mainly the clean air, and I like being weighted on hand and foot by you. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, I wait on you hand and foot just on a daily basis, but you wait on me hand and foot on a lively basis, don't you?
I see. Yeah, I would agree that I'm, of course, as usual, doing most of the heavy lifting in this relationship. But having a personal chef at an A-frame is nice. I feel like this is the best way to do it.
I know, and I'm apologizing now that there isn't cable TV set up here. I know that was in your rider.
I was honestly shocked. I assumed that feels like a lake house staple and something we should take up with the owners.
Yeah, I think we might get in trouble with the association if we don't have Fox News set up and running.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. If you don't have Fox News, there's going to be a little bit of a fine. It's just kind of part of the process.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we were up here for your birthday. We had a sustainable birthday cake. Chris had you had a Birthday Lives Matter cake set up. It was you thought the cake was going to be a little too dense for your small frame and digestive system, but it ended up being actually kind of light and fluffy, didn't it, Chris?
Yeah, it was very light and fluffy. Alex picked up the cake from what is it called? Sweet Lady Jane?
Sweet Lady Jane. It's the bakery right next door to Cookies on Melrose.
You already know. So when you're picking up the pack, you can pick up the other pack. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the cake was it was light. It had fruit involved, so it felt healthy. I would say almost.
Yeah, it healthy.
But it was good. The cake was good, and you made the famous Alison Roman shallot pasta, but gluten free to keep it light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's been a real película over here in the lake, my friend.
And that pasta hit like hell. I was very impressed.
Oh, good. Shout outs to Big Dog Roman.
Big Dog, yeah.
Roman. I can't think of a funny Polanski pasta pun.
Polanski pasta. That's the new wave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who's more canceled, Roman Polanski or Alison Roman? Am I right?
Interesting. But the pasta was delicious, and there was some tartine garlic bread as well because I felt like being a bad boy.
You know what else was delicious? The cinematography of Roman Polanski. That shit delicious.
I know you're a real cinephile, Jason. But we did watch some TV while we were here. We watched one show called The Home Edit that literally is the worst television show I've ever. It might be the worst reality-based television show I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, it is a show. The episode 1, the hero character was a Reese Witherspoon appearance where these shitty Southern women go to your house and spend 45 minutes reorganizing your closet, and then you pay them $18,000, and then you come in and say, "Oh my God, you put all of my shirts in a box, and then you wrote shirts on the box with a label." And
it's the kind of chicks that have like signs from Michaels with cursive writing in their laundry room, and that's not a shot at my own mother because she does have that, but I'm just trying to illustrate the point.
What kind of signage is happening at the Black Estate?
There's a handful of reclaimed wood style cursive writing, like live, laugh, love, wine me, it's 5 o'clock somewhere type of signage, but it's a little more a little more PG maybe, and a little more cute.
Okay, so like if you were closer to the ocean, it would be like beach this way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Those are some of my favorite signs.
Yeah, I love directions. But those, that kind of signage. But the Home Edit, I imagine Reese Witherspoon is the executive producer, or her production company must be involved. But man, do not watch that.
Yeah, do not. I mean, the previews are tempting, and we love a fixer-upper show. We love a reveal. Queer Eye in Japan with my girl Kiko. There's a lot of good stuff to be had in that genre on Netflix, but goners, please stay away from the Home Edit.
The Home Edit was it was tough. But then we also watched something that Jason had hella hyped up for me, called, what's it called?
The Social Dilemma. Well, I'm not the only one hyping. It's what everyone is talking about.
Yeah, Bob Lefset sent out a 2,000-word email about it last night. I didn't have time to read it because I was too busy enjoying the woods. But I was able to read it. It was a little boring. It wasn't hitting like some other Bobby L classics. Well, it's basically a show with a bunch of fucking high-paid dorks that have left their jobs and now are complaining about social media. Is that how you would sum it up, Jason?
Well, I wouldn't call it a show. I would call it a life-altering documentary.
An expose, if you will.
Yeah, it was an expose. It was about, obviously the dilemmas of social media and what it's done to the mental health of our children, like all the like the current, like you and I, people in our 40s are part of the last generation of people.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Go ahead.
But joking aside, our generation is the last one where we had truly one foot evenly and evenly distributed in both worlds of pre and post social media, and everyone now, like you are basically, you're 12 years old and you have an Instagram. You're 6 years old and you have an Instagram, and that's all you know. And what that does to your brain is a bad thing.
I think they made some good points, but the whole thing was pretty dorky and didn't make me feel like changing my habits. I don't know about you.
It made me feel like changing some of my habits. I knew that it would not affect you at all because, nobody likes to have the mirror turned on themselves. Though you're the kind of fella who needs to see it the most, perhaps. I mean, not the most, but
it would be recommended viewing for me. I would agree.
It has all of that negative stuff about how, suicide rates are up and kids nowadays are like they're getting in less and less relationships. They are taking less life risks. They don't care about getting their driver's license anymore. They don't care about, exploring or being adventurous or, experiencing things in life that build the character and, make you not a cuck person. It's just the cuck life is perpetuating more and more every day.
Well, I mean, who needs any of those things? You can do them all online. You know what I mean? I see the point for these kids. I think they're doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Stay inside.
What kind of risks are you taking online, Chris?
I'm kidding. I do think kids should go outside and shit, but I also don't know what world. This is the world they're living in now. They might be better served to be honest, because you have to understand this advice is coming from old heads.
Yeah. I mean,
I see both sides is what I'm saying, but I do think
but you're
that
able to see both sides because you know what both sides are like, and you're
true.
able to separate the good from the bad and the healthy from the unhealthy, whereas other people are truly unable to control themselves. They are.
So you're saying if I spend too much time online, I'm going to believe that 5G calls COVID, the Earth is flat, Bush did 9/11, etc.
No. Basically, it explores how artificial intelligence and machine learning kind of knows the exact perfect formula to keep your eyeballs looking at your phone or your computer screen for as long as possible to serve you these ads. And some people, a lot of people nowadays, conspiracy theories, which is something that you would think, or I guess back in the day would try to be more hidden online, is now being used as
Right
like a
out there.
full like marketable demographic of millions and millions of people of like, this is how we get everyone's crazy aunt on Facebook for 12 hours a day, and kitten videos weren't hitting well enough, and now it has to be QAnon Pizzagate shit or whatever it might be, or
that happened to me. So it's
propaganda.
A scene in the movie where it's the guy from Righteous Gemstones, if you remember. He's playing a teenager who is kind of reenacting getting radicalized from the YouTube algorithm. And I will say that has happened to me where I can't put down my phone and stop watching videos, but it's just the chiropractor stuff. So I feel like I've missed appointments and social gatherings to watch more of those videos, but it hasn't caused me any actual problems yet.
Your mom is like, Chris, it's time for you to go to work and open your MacBook Air and look at tweets, and then you're like, boom. And well, do you, when you're watching your chiropractor videos on YouTube, do you click the next recommended video?
Not usually. I like to skip around and sample different flavors, but I'll watch 5 or 6 from one chiro and then keep it pressing depending on how I'm feeling.
Okay, because they were saying that's one of the biggest things you can do to help keep your pure algorithm more pure, is to not click on anything recommended, any clickbait stuff, you just watch this cooking video, now watch this cooking video. Like, don't do any of that, because that's how they capture more data and information about you, and then serve you them ads in the algorithm.
Big data is what you're saying. Well, I don't really use YouTube that much, though. You know what I mean? I feel like you do.
Not that much, actually. But I mean, that's the beauty of it. There's, for every person who doesn't like chiropractor videos or YouTube, we have Instagram, we have Tumblr, we have Pinterest, we have, whatever boring ass sites, all of your nowness vids and all of your...
That was my problem. That was my problem with the whole thing, though, is that it literally, the only interviews were with guys who'd clearly made millions and millions of dollars in this exact industry, and then at some point decided it was bad, and now are getting paid to talk about it being bad. It's just a little bit like, I mean, I think they're right about most of it, but that's a little fishy to me.
Yeah, but I mean, those are also the people whose words we take and carry the most weight out of anyone. Like, nobody, like when you're hearing like a political whistleblowing book or crazy article being released, you don't want to hear information from them unless they were, on the front lines. True. Like, you don't want to hear about Steve Bannon unless Steve Bannon was really in there, pulling some strings.
Well, that's the issue with a lot of this like stuff, is that they know all this information, obviously, while they're still getting a check, and then only distribute the information when the check stops. So it's less whistleblower, more tattletale to me.
Yeah, but these people really believe that they're tattletaling because it's the future. It's the future of our human race at stake, and also a lot of people can use the excuse of like, we didn't know this was going to turn into all of this, and they may or may not. There's truth to both sides of that, but as the machine learning and the AI keeps becoming more and more intelligent and knowing us and knowing our data and all that stuff, like they may have truly not known it was going to turn into this. They thought it was just going to stop at like, oh, you like this sweater on Essence, then we're going to hit you with the little ad when you're looking at your New Yorker the next day, and that's about it. They didn't know I was going to get this deep into, you know, controlling political elections. You know,
yeah, that's true.
You know, really fucking the world up.
And once again, I think the moral of the story is here: never underestimate the stupidity of the American people, which is a reoccurring theme on this podcast, hosted by two idiots.
Yeah, but also it's worldwide. You know, it happened in Russia, it's happening in Brazil, it's happening in China, it's happening in America. You know, every race. You know, Myanmar, all you know, it's all fucked up because of Facebook. So if you're listening to this, you got to delete Facebook off top, even though Instagram is just Facebook for cool people.
I use Facebook every day because I keep it real, but I understand that some people like to delete it. Some pussies who can't handle it. What does
keeping it real mean to you?
No, I don't look at it every day, but I do click through it at least a couple times a week just to see what's popping.
What is the Facebook scene report? I deleted Facebook years ago, and I really don't know what is popping on it. I saw a video, like whenever something really pops off on Facebook, like some people will share it on Twitter, like this is the most viewed video in America right now. Damn, look how fucked up it is. I just saw one today where it was somebody doing the trick where you fold a $20 bill the right way, and it turns the presidential bust and the picture of the Washington Monument or whatever it is. You fold it in the right little origami thing, and it turns into the Twin Towers being blown up by an airplane.
A classic.
And like currently right now on this day, September 13th, 2020, that is like the most viewed video on Facebook, like something that somebody made 15 years ago. And
that's
put it
exactly
on
why. That's exactly why I look at Facebook, Jason. Because again, it's like going to the mall. You got to see how the regular folks are living. You know, it's important to stay. It's important to stay in touch with the regular folks.
Yeah, and so you don't get into your hashtag silo. And they talked about that on the documentary. It's important to follow people that you disagree with. Just so you know what's going on in the world. Is
that why I see you liking so many Candace Owens photos on Instagram, or is that something you don't want to talk about?
No. I just look at the accounts I disagree with. I don't double tap. Only Yayo would do something like that.
That's a good point. I thought the documentary was interesting. I don't think it's as mind-blowing. I mean, it's all stuff you kind of know, but it's just told to you by these fucking dorks who had jobs at the same places. Mm-hmm. So it definitely feels a little more realistic. And the information is definitely good. It's definitely real info.
But it has to be, it has to be a documentary, and it has to be compelling, and it has to be on Netflix for it to really, move the needle for people to absorb that info.
More importantly, Netflix released, I think, the entire Girlfriends catalog.
I never caught Girlfriends.
Girlfriends is big fire. I'm a big Tracee Ellis Ross head. Huge fan of hers.
What do you like about her?
She's funny and smart and hot, and she dresses cool. You know, I just like her.
She has that. She's the one who looks like a bird, right?
Yeah, your sister.
Okay, so you think she's hot? That's cool.
I do think she's hot. Yeah,
she is funny from what I hear, but I don't think I've ever really checked anything out from her.
Girlfriends is also just a classic, and like the big twist of Girlfriends that most people know is that Kelsey Grammer was the like executive producer and like co-creator. So Kelsey Grammer, and that shit was big. That was like a big show. It was on TV for a very long time.
Kelsey keeps it all the way 100 with it.
Kelsey keeps it 100 with it. So that Girlfriends, the entire collection hitting Netflix is more important than this little dork Facebook documentary. But you choose your own battles out there, listeners.
I'm gonna go ahead and do a big disagree. The one thing I did take from it is protecting your own algorithm is going to become more beneficial and
that's true.
Necessary in the future. I think it could be. Like the new credit score or something like that is like what is your that it's like the true marker of where your head is at, like how clean you're keeping your nose, so to speak. Really looking at all that info. Kind of how China is doing, where they're just giving people like a life score by how like good or bad of a person they are based on 1,000 data points. You wouldn't
do very well with that, but I understand.
I mean, that's the thing is like I think my algo is pretty clean. Other than checking out my graph vids, that'll knock my score down a couple clicks. But
my algo is literally like cat power on like a British late on a British late night show and a chiropractor video, maybe a skate video, and then like some dumb shit you send me to like teach me how to use some equipment I don't need. That's basically the entirety of my YouTube usage.
Okay. Well, I guess we're, thank God our algo is clean. And if you wanna buy some clean algo piss, just hit my Venmo.
Hit Bang Jason's Cash App for that clean algo piss. That's so stupid.
So Chris, you are a social media monster right now. We all know it. That's why we listen to this podcast, just to see, a peek into the mind of the Golden State scroller, Chris Black.
Woo! Damn, did you come off? Is that off dome or did you write that down?
That's off dome. I put it on my mama. That's off dome. But I did put a little rum in my coffee. So
TJ got bars
for the next 40 minutes.
Damn, fuck. Woo.
It was making me think. Since you are the Golden State scroller, what and you started getting onto social media when you were a fully developed adult, like you were in your 20s when Instagram and Twitter was popping off. What do you think you would be doing? What would your life look like? What would your personality be if you were on Instagram from 8 years old, say?
I would be terrible, obviously. I think it's but I think the thing that doc spotlights is that the stuff about the little girl taking selfies and being told her ears are big and shit. That's the stuff that you don't really experience as an adult. That's probably the most damaging as an impressionable youth.
Yeah. And you can't handle the haters in your comments as a 38-year-old man. So what do you think that would look like?
I would be. Can you imagine my little fat ass in an Earth Crisis shirt putting up a selfie, just getting owned by some jocks on IG?
But you would definitely be fatter, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I just think it is. I do think that there is some truth to that. I think getting your self-worth from likes is a problem, and that is true for adults and children alike. But I think it affects children more, obviously, because they're underdeveloped brains. But
yeah, we as humans are not meant to be. They were saying we're not meant to be able to process what 10,000 people think about you at any given moment, who don't have any compassion for what they're about to tell you. Just if you read any YouTube comment of look at this ugly ass fat bitch, kill yourself. Humans are not supposed to hear that, and I could see that, and if you catch me simping, I might get into my feelings a little bit. But if I was 13-year-old TJ, draw the curtains. It's going to be a long December.
TJ would have been a school shooter, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you strike me as a little Columbine head ass with his little let it spray attitude. But I do think that
the problem is the trench coat for my 6'9" ass is just looking like a
damn. That's a good point. You couldn't even hide the strap in there very well.
It barely covers this pog ass.
I don't know. Oh my god, I don't know what it would be like. But I had social media but I guess we had AOL and the chat rooms and stuff. But that was one-on-one. You know what I mean? That wasn't necessarily a group think where people could see you getting roasted by your mates in real time.
It got lit in the chat room sometimes, but
but the chat room again, it's fleeting. It's not the same. It's not the same thing. It's not like all your buddies at school are I saw what you know what I mean. It was
and it's not set in stone forever. There's no screenshots. There's no any of that stuff. Somebody will just make fun of you, and then that's it.
That should keep scrolling. But I wonder. I would definitely be a monster more than I am now, which is tough to consider.
Yeah, you are a motherfucking monster, and that's why we listen to this podcast, because it is going to a zoo and seeing. We need to see what a caged animal looks like.
This cage is luxurious, baby.
So how do you feel about Wimbledon right now? Wimbledon is.
You mean the U.S. Open?
The U.S. Open. Sorry. U.S. Open done got turned on its head.
I know. It's pretty crazy. I think we'll be able to catch it today if we leave in time after we finish this annoying podcast. My guy, Shapovalov, my favorite Canadian, who looks like he's a hockey player, he's out. I kind of don't care, honestly, but like I watch all finals because it's.
I was talking more, I guess. Naomi Osaka winning. What my man Corday courtside Corday. YBN Courtside.
YBN Courtside is very fucking cool. Like the video of him like almost getting into like the fucking album cover pose instead of like an appropriate handshake with the winner of the US Open. Actually they're a very cool couple, and I can see a lot of editorials coming their way after this victory. Very cool couple, and
I never was really checking for YBN Courtside at all. I just assumed that his music was bad and he still watches SpongeBob and his mommy makes him macaroni and cheese, but he seems like a good guy, actually, so far.
I mean, I think all of that stuff could be true, but he's just got a cool girlfriend and he's going to maybe ride those coattails.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to listen to rap music about killing people who are definitely not killers, but
the victory is good for her. I mean, I'm not a big Serena fan, even though like she's the greatest of all time. I find her a little obnoxious.
Is she the Beyonce of tennis?
I mean, I think she's like the greatest of all time. What can you really say? But I find her, I don't know. I just don't find her that. I think Osaka is a more like of the times champion, and it feels like more appropriate.
Yeah, Serena been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, no, she's been doing it, and like I just think,
kind of forget how amazing at tennis she is because it's
her pivot to like mom who married the dork who founded Reddit is just like the opposite of cool, whereas Nomi dating fucking YBN Corday is very cool.
Hey, Beyonce married an old dork, rich dork too.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Old dusty ass bars. You're right.
It's cool, but Serena was the first person to crip walk on the court.
That's also a good point. And she also wore the off-white uni. Let's never forget that. Ooh. Your favorites weren't doing that, Jason.
Mm-hmm. I was reading today. More people are moving out of California than they are moving into California for the first time in over 10 years.
These fires just motherfucking started last week.
But I don't know I don't think it's from the fires. I think it's more of a COVID thing of people wanting to leave the city.
I just don't, especially on the West Coast, where are you going to go? Everything's hell except LA. San Francisco is literally a shooting gallery. Like, where are you going to go? Arizona? Las Vegas? Like, Portland?
Yeah, I think people are going to go. I think people are going to Arizona. I think people are going to Utah a lot. Not so much Oregon right now, unless you get hired by Nike to be a fucking loser. But I mean, yeah, it's a lot of Sedona, Arizona. It's like Zion, Utah, shit, Montana.
I mean, all of that,
Texas, a lot of Texas.
All of that shit is cool in theory, but I think you're going to look up in a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, and be like, "What the fuck did I do? Why am I living out?" Like it's not sustainable for most people. I don't think,
unless you are betting on the fact that this is just going to be how it is forever, or it's only even going to get worse and worse.
I mean, and I do understand taking that bet. I just think that I just think it's a lot of knee jerk reactions, and also like. I mean, look, I guess maybe it's also the no confidence in leadership of your state and city is maybe probably pushing people out as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, as a real estate tycoon myself, I'm into sniffing out trends, and I've got my eye on this.
So where do you think Realtor TJ is looking to cop up next? What's the hottest emerging market on the West Coast, TJ?
I think I might go Ventura. It's not super new, but I think for the next 10 years it might be the last great little enclave. But
how far is that from LA?
I'd say it's like 45 minutes.
That's where Patagonia is, right?
I think so, yeah. But
so what goes down there? Like surfing bros?
Yeah, it is just very laid back surfing bro vibes. It's sort of untouched from by the last 20 years, but it's starting to turn right now. And I think the only problem that it really has is just it's only filled with white people who are retired, and they're chill and they're cool and they're liberal-ish, but they're also still they're trumping on the low just a bit.
What do they have, an Erewhon or like a Sprouts? What's the vibe?
They might have an Erewhon. I mean, they definitely have a Tesla supercharging station. They definitely have a Whole Foods. I mean, it is nice. Like it's a very like quaint, cute little surf community that is.
But it's considered. Is it considered like a beach town?
Yeah, it's a beach town. But that's my move. Or otherwise, maybe kind of by where we are in Lake Arrowhead, like San Bernardino area.
I thought San Bernardino was torched as fuck.
It was torched for a long ass time, but now everything changes. Now that we don't see each other, go outside, look at people, do anything, it might start getting kind of nice.
Damn, I like this. I think TJ's real estate scene report could be an interesting feature of this podcast.
All I'm looking for is just a little working capital, and we can start making some big moves, Chris. What do you say?
I mean, I love big moves, you know that, but I don't, I could never see myself located outside of a major city. I just think it's a terrible way to live. I couldn't do it.
I know, but you will eventually retire, and you will eventually, when New York is gone.
You retire.
Are you going to go to Jersey?
No, bitch, you retire to the Upper East Side from downtown. That's exactly what you do.
But what happens when Manhattan, let's say you can't live in New York City? Are you going to Connecticut? Are you going upstate? You going to
Miami, baby?
Great, perfect answer.
I'm a snowbird. You know what I'm saying? No, I would probably, honestly, I love Miami. I've always loved it.
Same.
I could do a Key Biscayne to ride out my later years.
You're a biscuit boy.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you. I mean, I was asking because I was just watching the trailer for Nomadland, which is like a movie that everyone is nutting about right now.
Jason not only is hot on the real estate tips, but Jason's also now obviously Film Hive. I didn't know you worked in the industry, but he's keeping up with the winners and losers at the festival during festival season. And this film Nomad, is it Nomad People is what it's called?
Yeah, Nomadland. Just follow letterbox.com/themjeans if you want.
I follow the real trade papers: Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, The Ankler, a popular newsletter for the Hollywood industry.
You're a Deadline whore, aren't you?
I mean, it's not what it used to be, but I like to get my industry news from industry players. You know what I mean? Not interlopers like you, guys who just live in a physical proximity to the business but don't live in the business, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay, you sound like a fucking boomer makeup artist right now.
Well, I do have a Fenty collection dropping next month.
Bro, you wasn't there with me at the Waterworld premiere, bitch.
You weren't, dude. You weren't.
You wasn't there with me at Planet Holly.
You tell me about yeah, exactly. Me and Jean-Claude Van Damme signing T-shirts in 1997. Claudia Schiffer was there too.
Yeah, I'm holding Dr. Ruth like a baby. Van Damme style. This is real 1989 shit.
Tell me about this, Dr. Ruth. Tell me about it.
It's the god Francis McDermott who is just a nomad. Like it's covering the lifestyle of modern nomadic American people, I guess, of just like we're not homeless, we're not crazy, we just want to live, live freely. We RV culture. You just pick up and go. You have like little friends that you kick it with in weird little campfire communities.
This is like one of my best friends growing up, who was the drummer in Cartel, Kevin. His parents do this now. Like they're both just retired and they bought a crazy RV that was like it's super expensive and really nice, and they just that's it. They just drive around.
They converted the Sprinter.
Exactly. They drive around. They still own their house and stuff, but they're not there, and this is what they do.
I think that particular lifestyle is gonna go dummy in the next 5-10 years probably.
Well, I mean, there's a big demand for, like, a lot of people are turning their Mercedes Sprinter and like to the livable, cost a couple $100,000, but you get it fully outfitted with a shower and a kitchen and the whole thing. Another friend of mine, a photographer from here, who he lived in LA, but he's from Atlanta. He did that. He's currently doing that. And he said the demand is really high. Because he outfitted his himself with his dad, and he said he could sell it back for like a big profit right now.
Damn. He flipped a Sprinter.
He flipped a Sprinter, but I mean, same thing. That's what Toby Campion is doing right now too. He bought one of these Sprinters fully outfitted.
That seems like a lot of money, though. Like you can buy a house in St. Louis for that same amount of money.
But that's what I'm telling you. I'm saying that you're right, because the value, like they're in demand. They're in demand. Like the value, they hold their value.
Is that a lifestyle that you find attractive at all?
No, that's ugh. Fuck out of here. Like, I want to take a shower. I want to have a smoothie. I mean, I guess I think the only way I could do it if there was like an exercise component, like if it was like a 2-week like run across America or some shit, and I lived in the Sprinter on the way, and there was like a reason for it. But just doing that to do it, I don't understand. Like, what are you escaping? Like, if that's what you're gonna do for the rest of your life, then okay. But if you're gonna do this for a year and then have to go buy a house and do all the shit over again. Like, what is the point?
I mean, what are you escaping is the real question at hand, Chris. It is a good one, and I think that's the interesting part of like I'm not how those people are looked down upon in society as like something wrong with them, where something might not necessarily be wrong with them. They're just that type of person. And back in the day, a nomadic culture was very normal, and now you are looked at like a full maniac if that's what you're doing. Hopefully, nomadic vibes only becomes normalized.
I don't think it's crazy at all. I think I understand the appeal of it. It just doesn't do shit for me because I'm a person who likes to be comfortable and do things that are, routine based. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're blessed,
so like,
and feel grateful that you're able to feel comfortable just, living in the city.
As the world crumbles, I want to be in a major metropolitan area just to feel it really in every pore and crevice of my body.
You
if I was
to be
out
able to get that chopped cheese.
Exactly. If I was in Zion National Park right now, I wouldn't be feeling shit. You know what I mean? So like boring. But the back to nature shit is going to help city dwellers like us, TJ.
Yeah, man, I'm with it.
It's gonna weed out all the pussies that love stars and clean air and shit, and it's just gonna be you and I left soaking up all the real estate and good food.
Fuck yeah, man. I mean, I'm definitely gonna get into fishing culture very soon. I feel that is my.
You're already late. You're already late on gorping, but go for it.
I'm not late on gorping. I mean, the word gorp, that is just like people that dress up in Patagonia who just for fun. Is that the vibe?
That's literally you. But continue.
But I mean,
you're wearing a vintage North Face fleece right now.
But
okay,
but is there's no negative connotation to a gorp, is there? Or is that somebody who's like wearing this clothing as a performative act? Is there no like derogatory or pejorative attached to it?
I think among real outdoorsmen, you would be considered a fucking valor stealer.
I don't know if that's true because I almost became an Eagle Scout. I know how to tie all kind of knots. I know how to chop shit. I know how to fish and kill. Skin a fucking animal and shit.
You don't know how to do anything. You can cook and you can talk and you can blast cigs. What else can you do?
Bro, I made a damn dog leash out of some rope, and you were looking at me like I just cured cancer.
That was impressive. I will say I could not have done that. I'm really, 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 really worthless with stuff like that.
So being a gorp man, that's not being a poser. Or it is.
I honestly,
it feels
I'm not.
Posery.
It feels posery. I'm not totally sure. I mean, there's no
like criteria to be judged on. Like are you?
I think
an outdoors person? Like what do you have to do to be able to pass the test? Because
I think I would say. I mean, we could make up our own list right now. I think you should have to camp 8 times a year minimum.
Okay, and there can be no indoor rock climbing. It only has to be outdoor rock climbing.
Indoor rock climbing is definitely definitely a trend that I haven't tried it yet. A few friends and fans of the show have offered to take me, and
I guess I never thought about what the quarantine effect on our indoor rock climbing hive. How everyone check on your indoor climbers.
Yeah, their chalk bags are empty and they're feeling the burn. I mean,
yeah, the Sportivas, we hung up our heels.
Exactly. I mean, I know that I see my friend Taka that I work with at Valence. He's a big climber and he's getting it in, but that's in Canada where things are a little looser right now. So, I am concerned. I am concerned about that, and I do think that outdoor rock climbing is obviously a lot more dangerous and scary. and that's why those pussies in their little bags stay inside.
Yeah, if you're gonna be climbing, it has to be outdoors, and you can't have one of those loser safety ropes to help if you fall. Like, come on, bro. Does it look? Am I doing bumper bowling? No. No.
Like get out there and let it fly. Like,
do I have training wheels on the fucking fixed gear, fam? No, I don't.
yo, this Rari don't. I mean, I paddle shift. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, did Chris opt out on the paddle shifters when he had the Mozzie? No.
No, we don't do that. We
Does Chris know what a paddle shifter is? No.
Yeah, exactly. I just know I'm supposed to use it. But I do think the criteria. I mean, like for example, I would never camp. I would never fish. I have no interest in fishing. I don't really even like to walk outside. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we did a little walk this morning, and because there were beautiful homes, I killed an hour and it was fine. But you know, if I was just looking at nature, it's like, what? Put me into inside.
Put me into inside. Yeah, when you are in LA and you're running around, like everyone's like, I'm gonna go hit the beach. I'm gonna go to Griffith Park. I'm gonna go, you know, hit the riverbed. And Chris is like, I'm gonna hit Melrose. I'm gonna hit La Brea, and I'm gonna hit Fairfax if I'm gonna run, because I need to see funny people to look at who are riding those little scooters that have the speakers built into them.
Exactly. But I will say that I have a bunch of friends. A lot of the guys that work at Stussy in Vancouver are really on their outdoor shit, doing some, like, they have like crazy cars that you can drive in the water and shit. They're really on some wild, and it looks so beautiful. It looks crazy, the places they are.
The Kia is amphibious, please believe.
the Kia breathed through his fibs. But
I think I do see there isn't you know, the outdoor trend is being co-opted by influencer content creator losers, and it's creating a subgenre of content that I'm really starting to hate, that people are really loving, which is like hot guys who like live in their van and then make videos of them like making coffee over the fire shirtless, and everyone is like, damn, how are they freaking doing that? And then like, I'm gonna cut this like piece of chicken with my like giant machete sword and then cook it on like a cast iron over the fire and then make like a high def video of it.
It feels like your algorithm is actually fucked up because I'm not seeing any of this content.
It's a real thing, you know. Goner, sound off in the comments if you feel me, but it is a real, and it's like, look at me, I'm gonna make a French press coffee outdoors. Like I feel like that is sort of the only reason why people are going camping or glamping or any type of outdoor thing. They're not just going, you know, because they like it. They're going there so they can buy, you know, much like the mindset of a CB, so they could buy all the gear and then take a video of them, you know, making food in like a big cast iron pot. Like, I'm going to make some campfire beans by the pot, and then I also brought some Eric Warheim wine, and then we're going to have, you know, like a millennial cannabis brand CBD thing.
This literally sounds like an activation that you've made a deck for, that you're so well versed in it.
But I mean, that's why I'm so salty, is because TJ was on this wave on the keynote, you know, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and now, you know, thanks to the novel coronavirus, you know, all of my ideas have been figured out by regular people who don't have galaxy brains like myself when I'm in the Google Slides.
I hate when normies steal my ideas. You know, it's a real problem. But luckily, Jason, you know, we're an idea factory. We can shit these things out. It's no problem. So you guys keep camping and taking your little pictures of chicken with your shirt off.
Yeah, man.
Jason and I will be in Lake Arrowhead ideating.
This chicken lays a fresh new egg every day, and it's time to scramby.
It's time. God damn it. I mean, look, man, we've been here for 36 hours, 48 hours. No, it's going to be 36. I'm good. It was beautiful. I had a good time, but it's time to get back to the city. And even though it's on fire and smoky, the Peloton's indoors.
Also, this is the perfect amount of time for me. I don't need to leave for any more than that, but I think we're going to have to start doing this a lot more often, getting out on the reg, because even though we like all of those niceties, I love my house. I don't want to leave my house. I spent a long time with my LP making it that little house a home, and whenever I travel now and go to places, it's not as enjoyable as the home.
I mean, if you're telling me you'd rather be home than at the rave, then I'm shocked to hear this from you.
It depends on who's playing.
Good point. I mean, I've watched you blossom into a goofy DJ, into a real man who could take care of a home, and I have to say it's honestly sexy as hell. And look, you can cook, you can clean, you can chop, can you change the oil on a car?
Yeah, of course. I was doing that when I was 16, baby.
That's pretty sick. Never done that in my life. Never even attempted. I can't even change a tire. I'm calling AAA.
Nobody assumed that you could, Chris. Don't worry.
Yeah, but whatever, man. Shut up.
You're a carry and you know it.
But do I? Yeah, I think that I like to think that I bring other things to the table. As I reflect on 38 years on Earth, I feel like I'm able to bring other things to the table, and that's why I have macho friends like you to beat up my enemies and nail stuff into the wall.
Yeah, man, it's the beautiful yin and yang of a long otter and his twink friend. We both bring things to the table. We can't win the war just on our own. It's all about offense and defense.
You need your whole squad behind you to make these moves and really, really dominate.
Look, my squad makes moves.
God damn it! It really, are you familiar? The internet is going absolutely cuckoo bananas over this guy, Jacob Elordi. Are you familiar with this hottie?
No, I am not familiar with him. What it do and what he do?
I mean, he's tall and broad chested, and he was in a Netflix show called Kissing Booth.
Yeah,
which I've never seen, but it seems like so basically this man though. Apparently he smashed Zendaya, and now he's smashing Kaya Gerber, which is an insane twosome.
Only your boy Pete Davidson could handle that type of.
This guy's on Davidson level, but he's been photographed a lot in New York with Kaya this weekend because they're holding hands, they're hitting the restaurants, they're hitting dimes. You know what I mean? They're at all the hot spots.
What do you think the chances are that Pete was having underage relations with Kaya?
Oh, come on! Of course, that's the Hollywood way.
We need to lock him up then, don't we?
I mean, look, Pete Davidson needs to be locked up for many reasons. So I don't. I mean, we can get started with that. But so Elordi, so there's all these paparazzi pictures of him with all these hotties, but and the gays are just absolutely wagging their tongues. Gay Twitter is going absolutely nuts for this guy, and I get it. He's got his haircut's kind of bad, but I see it. I get.
Does he have TikTok hair?
No, it's like a weird kind of like I got an expensive mullet kind of, like a little funny.
He's got a Joe Dirte?
Yeah, but like a little bit, but like an $800, like Japanese salon version.
His name is Jacob Elordi?
Elordi, Elordi. But the problem with this guy, I'm seeing all these paparazzi pictures. Everybody, he's so hot, blah, blah, blah. This motherfucker is wearing Golden Goose Deluxe brand sneakers in every picture. Like what the fuck? We're gonna let that slide though? Like I can't let that slide in my personal life. Why am I gonna let it slide with celebrities?
Every celebrity wears those shoes though. Okay, I'm looking at him and I get it.
You would hit?
I mean, the style is not so good, but he is tall AF, and his arms are more on swole than mine. It's not making me.
Well, that doesn't take much when you got two twigs with fingers at the bottom.
Is he Australian? He kind of looks Australian.
I actually don't know. I don't know his place of origin. Actually, all I know is if you dig down Zendaya and Kaya, you're a legend.
I mean, this guy basically looks exactly like me if I had the gooses on.
Do you think the gooses come? I bet we could get you a pair of gooses in 17.
Kyrie Irving definitely has the goose plug in the size 17 for your boy.
I'd love to get you in some gooses just to really take you to Jones on third. And see what happens.
This man really has TJ fits going on, and it's bumming me out.
Describe one of these fits that you think.
Okay,
is yours.
I'm looking right now. Kaya's got she's got the workout vibes. He has the New York Yankees hat on, not a fitted. He has the Patagonia fanny pack, but he's going crossbody, which TJ would never. And then he has like Nike running shorts, but he's doing a French tuck with a vintage Harley Davidson tee, and that's where he lost me. But then a regular white sock and the golden goose. If he loses the goose and then just puts on a lose the goose, puts the Patty fanny around the neck instead of around
Jason wears
the
his.
shoulder.
Jason wears his. That's what you losers need to recognize, that Jason's wearing the Patty fanny pack around the neck like a damn chain, and that you guys you can't do that. You guys can't do that
because it's no days off. We don't skip neck day.
What that neck do?
But if you switch out the shoes and you make the crossbody into a necky, and then the Harley Davidson shirt just gets turned into a plain, acne tee, then
oh God, shut up, bitch! You're wearing a Hanes size large tall t-shirt. You ain't
Fruit
wearing
of the
no
Loom.
acne.
Fruit of the Loom. You can't dress with us.
You ain't wearing no acne.
Batman, no acne.
So you're saying Elordi could get it? You get it?
Yes. Yeah. I'm with it. But I'm also looking at a photo. It's like a black and white picture of him where he's wearing a white tee. The sleeves are rolled up like casually, like he's in his little. It just happened.
He's in his little James Dean bag. The wind blew his sleeves up.
Yeah, James Dean bag. Chris, you already know the photo, and he's taking his photo with a toothpick in his mouth. Of course, you're like, oh, you caught me with my normal toothpick.
Remember 5 years ago when I was capping for toothpicks when all you guys were still brushing your teeth? It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy, bro.
You've been tea tree mafia for a long time.
But look, I like these young guys cooking, and again, he's putting in the work. Clearly, he must be a nice guy. He must be doing it right.
Does that mean that you're gonna fuck around and tune into Kissing Booth available on Netflix?
No, I'm sure he's got some more projects coming out there a little more age appropriate for me that I could check out.
He was the hot guy in Euphoria, so I'm aware of this guy.
Oh, so he met Zendaya on set.
Which I know that makes Chris's blood boil, because I didn't know you were such a Zen man.
I love Zendaya. She's bad as hell, and she's talented. Also,
the classic photo of them riding on the back of the golf cart in the airport, where he's holding the Pelican case. Very CB fit.
It's too good, dude. I mean, getting the paparazzi shot in the airport on the special services golf cart because you're famous is goals AF.
Goals AF. What I do question. Do you think there was a time where like the low top vans a few years ago were very popular? Obviously, the plain white vans, the
old school, the old schools, or the era.
The era. Not the old schools. No stripey. How long until those inevitably come back?
I mean, I will never stop wearing those because that's a shoe I've worn since I was literally in middle school. But I don't wear them as often as I would. I think they're kind of, the old school to me goes in and out of flavor more often than the era. The era seems more like a staple.
You're right, but I wouldn't wear them right now. But maybe in about a year and a half, they will come back.
But Vans makes big boy sizes for you, right?
Yeah, but certain, a lot of different shoes, once you stretch them out, it ain't
looking good.
It don't look right. It's, when you, like from my Adobe heads, the constraint proportions can be manipulated to a point where it just ain't hitting right. We need the vector, and we need to hit shift when we're transforming, because some silhouettes on the shoe turn out wild, goofy, and it's not nice for TJ.
So you're saying that the Vans just don't look, they ain't hitting for you at a 17. Know what I mean?
It just looks like a rolled up dish towel. It's just like a long piece of fabric that has no rhyme or reason with a sole affixed to the bottom. Do you think, I was just thinking of this earlier, can we get somebody to make an Instagram filter for the Cutler and Gross, so it looks so like the CB filter?
I pretty sure we have that person in our network.
If you're listening, you know how to do that. If you need the Cutler and Gross .png, maybe for the 100th episode, once we want to go viral,
we can release a filter. Oh, I mean, Alex got me the birthday present, the Janie Corn candle that looks like me.
Your bust has been forever immortalized in beeswax.
You might have seen it on the stories. I'll never burn it. It's going to sit on my mantle because nothing says success like being surrounded by imagery of yourself in your own home. Much like a king or a queen, I like to commission artists to render me.
And Chris, I hope one day you get that mantle.
Look, right now I've got a shelf, but
you know what? Once you finish decorating your content creation wall where you have your Zoom set up, you definitely have to put the candle of your own bust there.
Well, the problem is there's not, because of the Oscar, Emmy, and Tony, there's only like so much room on the shelf. But I'll figure it out. And I mean, are there podcast awards? Have we been nominated, and we just didn't know?
I don't know, actually. There has to be a podcast award, yeah.
I think there is. But
yeah,
I don't know
is there a bathroom around? Because I'm looking for my potty. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my God.
It's the 15th annual
Woo!
potty.
Damn, TJ gone off the edibles right now, bro. Oh, my
I didn't
God.
know. I only took a halfie. It didn't even hit. I'm too hard
Jason been taking edibles all day, all night. I think he's got a problem.
Bro,
you guys might need to.
I don't do this when I'm on office hours. We're on holiday. We're in the woods. We ain't nothing to do but cook. So I'm gonna pop my rose edibles, and I'm gonna like it, and I'm gonna get gone. I'm gonna drive home down the hill, and it won't be safe.
I'm putting 2 seatbelts on. Okay, well, it's been another absolutely fucking great podcast coming to you live from Lake Arrowhead, where the air is clean and the water is serene. How long gone? The only podcast that matters. The best podcast on your airwaves. Them Jeans, Chris Black, coming to you 3 times a week live to tape. This ain't a fucking game. We got guests this week coming up. I'm not going to tell you who, but look, go watch that little broke boy anti-social media documentary. Go watch Girlfriends. Go check out Jacob Elordi and let me know if you let him smash.
Go check out Allison Roman. She's got bomb-ass pasta. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.